A lot of beginners tend to get the electrode stuck when they first start stick welding. There are two ways to strike an arc when welding. The first one is the tapping method, and the second one is the scratch method. For the tapping method, you hold the electrode basically perpendicular to the base metal and tap the workpiece directly with the rod to strike the arc. Then, lift the rod about 2 to 3 millimeters and maintain this distance from the surface of the base metal as you travel forward. This method makes it easier for the rod to stick, so I don't really recommend it for beginners. The second technique is the scratch method, which is very similar to striking a match. Gently scratch the tip of the electrode against the base metal. Don't drag it too far. About 20 to 25 millimeters is ideal. Once the arc is established, lift the rod about 2 to 3 millimeters to start welding. Here are a few rod manipulation techniques for beginners practicing flat position welding. You need a really steady hand when welding. The best way to build that stability is by running a straight stringer bead, dragging the rod in a straight line. If you need a wider weld bead, we can use a zigzag weaving technique. We can also use a circular weaving motion or a crescent weaving technique. If you're working on thinner sheet metal, we can use a whipping back and forth technique. Here are the recommended amperage settings for flat position welding. For a 2.5 millimeter electrode, use 50 to 80 amps. For a 3.2 millimeter electrode, use 100 to 130 amps. For a 4.0 millimeter electrode, use 160 to 200 amps. During welding, your arc length should not exceed the diameter of the electrode, which is the distance between the tip of the rod and the base metal. During welding, you want to strike the arc about 15 millimeters ahead of the starting point of the weld joint. Once struck, quickly move the rod back to the start of the joint, tight up the arc, and begin your weld. Now, let me give you a live demonstration. Take a look, everyone. This is exactly how you strike the arc. Check it out closely. This is what the final weld bead appearance looks like. Thanks for watching.